What are your thoughts about the product Blue Chew for the occasional spice up? Now, Blue Chew is great. They're marketing geniuses. They've basically taken generic Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, and made it into a blue chewable tablet. Like basically, you chew it instead of swallowing it. And their whole thing is that some people can't swallow pills, so they can chew it. My thoughts on this is twofold. Sure, there is a place in all of this for PDE5 inhibitors. You know, particularly when you're going through penile rehab, you may need a low dose of some of these for rehabilitation. If you're in a situation where, you're going to Vegas and you might use it because you want to, have an amazing time while you're there, and you're equating that with being stiffer, harder, and longer, I get that. But what I want to be really clear about is that one of the main reasons I'm in this space is because I was the doctor who kept that stuff stacked up in the sample closet for my guys to come through and get it. I mean, I would keep it when I was out of the office. I would have my mom, like such and such, this patient's coming through. Can you make sure he gets it? I was really proud of being the doctor that had enough samples that guys didn't have to pay for it. But then I watched what was happening to those guys that were relying on it long term. And none of them, and I'm not saying it was because of it, but none of them are the same person today that they were when all that was happening. Some of them are gone. Some of them have had strokes. They're just not themselves. So I say that to say that there is an underlying cause when your erections go bad. And if you ignore the underlying cause and just focus on a quick fix like that, now you're creating problems for yourself that aren't necessary, right? There's certain things that's going to happen to us. Yeah, we get older, we age. That's kind of a necessary thing in life. But when you start to rely on that, we have the potential of, going blind immediately, losing vision, losing hearing. Let's talk about, so here it is, you're listening to me and you're increasing your nitrates in your diet, right? So you just had a smoothie or something with a lot of spinach and arugula and celery, or you're taking an inorganic nitrate, as a supplement. And then you go and take something like that, a Blue Chew or sildenafil, tadalafil, and you're taking a high dose of it because you're on vacation. Then what can potentially happen is you can become hypotensive. Pretty much your blood pressure can kind of bottom out, right? So you got to be really mindful about using those things. And you got to be really mindful about what circumstances are you using them in, right? Because, like, for instance, you go to Vegas, you want to have some drinks, you might smoke a little weed, you might do all of these other things. And so your body's got to deal with that. Now you're throwing in there this medication and you're doing a high dose of it because you want to, while out a little bit, impress whoever it is that you're with. That is a potential cocktail for a disaster. And I'll never forget the time my dad went to Vegas and he ended up, in the emergency room in a hospital. And it all happened after he'd been in a hot tub with a glass of wine. And he never told it, he never said it, but I swear every part of me thinks that there was some of that involved in it too, a little sildenafil in the mix. So I want you to be really mindful of that. I want you to really be mindful that when you take that stuff, you don't go in a hot tub, you don't go in the sauna, you don't overheat yourself. I want you to think of that less as something like, yeah, it's fun, and really think about it for what it is, which is a drug, and it can cause some potential issues, right? So be mindful of that if you're going to do it, you want to be in a controlled space. You can have some food, but don't go liquor it up, smoke it up, and hot tub it up all at the same time. Just do one thing, right? So yeah. So you can, there's absolutely there is a space for those things in life, but I really really caution you against relying on them. Well, against subscribing to these things where they're sending it to you every month and you always have 10 or 15 on hand. Listen, You can use them every now and then, prop things up, but really start working on the underlying cause. Start working on making more nitric oxide. Start working on repairing those blood vessels. Start working on prostate. What can we do to get the prostate symptoms under control? What can we do to regain nerve function? What can we do to lower blood sugars? What can we do to lower our blood pressure? So really get to the root cause of it. What can we do to boost testosterone levels in certain instances? So you really want to think about erectile function from that perspective, and not necessarily from, well, I have a good time. Let me just throw this drug into the mix.